Right, 6 hours to the partial lockdown right here on News 360 from the home of the news. At the time we're here in Accra, I am Mr. Moni.
And my name is Aisha Yakubu. Coming up in the bulletin this evening.
News 360 headlines is brought to you by
Heaven insecticide spray and coil. Deluxy acrylic paint.
My Life Insurance.
Mad rush as residents avoid being locked down in Greater Accra and Kumasi.
Medical team deployed to Inchaban police barrier in the western region to screen passengers on board vehicles entering into the secondary Accra metropolis.
Also coming up, security agencies assure public of humanitarian operation in 14-day partial lockdown, but request cooperation.
And international news, India's Prime Minister asked for his country's forgiveness after imposing a sweeping lockdown that he said has hurt millions of poor people.
We have details of these stories and many more, including sports and entertainment, coming up in the next 60 minutes. Remember, we're live on DSTV channel 279 and on Facebook on TV3 Ghana.
And let's turn into action now. A frantic rush to leave Greater Accra and Kumasi has reached its peak following government's partial lockdown in less than 6 hours in a bid to stop the coronavirus spread. People, mostly low-income groups, rushed to the transport terminals in an effort to return to their hometowns. There was a gridlock on the Accra-Kaswa highway. According to experts, the chances of COVID-19 spreading further is higher now as a large number of people moving from community to another amid the government's directive of the partial lockdown. Accra could gradually turn into a ghost capital following government directive effective Monday, March 30. There are demands on government to properly monitor the situation and provide the needed support to help prevent the spread of the coronavirus.
Meanwhile, some residents of Kaswa, one of the communities to be affected by the partial lockdown, have been reacting to a 2-week movement restriction.
Shishana, we Shishana, with the center for no. 2 weeks of lockdown is very hard. It will be very hard for us as a resident in Kaswa. Kaswa over here, before you eat, unless you go and come, every day you're supposed to go up before you eat. Say everything for 2 weeks there, I had in power. But because of the arena event, the vessel was.
And also, government has set up a quarantine center at Tamale after the confirmation of the 10 new cases of COVID-19 in that part of the country. The Health Minister, Kwekwajima Menu, made this known at a media briefing in Accra. 10 foreigners who were picked up by security officials for coming into the country through Burkina Faso tested positive for the virus.
10 foreigners, after the arrest, were put under mandatory quarantine in Tamale, where they were all confirmed to be COVID-19 positive after testing. It is unclear how they managed to enter the country as the Ghana borders were closed on March 22.
The information we have from the case management people is the fact that all those tested positive are in very good condition. They are not sick yet, but they have started engaging them for treatment.
He further indicated that plans are far advanced to deploy the use of drones to test blood samples of suspected cases in areas distant from the testing centers.
Still in Tamale, 7 headquarters have been placed under quarantine by the health officials at the Salaga Government Hospital. The 7 were among more than 800 headquarters from Kumasi, Accra and Yeji, who arrived in Salaga following the impending lockdown in Greater Accra and Kumasi. They were sent to the Salaga Government Hospital to enable health officials check their temperatures and also observe signs of COVID-19. With only 2 thermometers are gone, health officials of the hospital struggled to undertake the exercise. Meanwhile, there's uneasy calm in Tamale following the confirmation of 10 COVID-19 cases by the Ghana Health Services.
And our health workers in the Nanumba South District of the Northern Region have abandoned posts owing to lack of personal protective equipment against COVID-19. Patients, including children, are being turned away, while those on admission have been discharged.
Healthcare workers say they are terrified to attend to patients. They claim they've worked without protective gear and will not continue to risk their lives. An amateur video shows a shutdown of one of the health centers in the district. The district has 23 health facilities made up of 3 health centers and CHIP zones. Most health infrastructure in the district are under-resourced, making healthcare delivery challenging. Also in the Upper East region, health workers are facing more dire situations. Health workers at all facilities in the region have no personal protection equipment, compelling the administrative body of the Polgatanga Regional Hospital to improvise. Staff say they would be highly exposed to the virus should health facilities record a COVID-19 case.
The challenge has been faced with the PPE. We have not received at all, not that we have received or we have run short. Everybody is scared of the level at which the PP issue is being handled. Okay. You have seen a lot of talk, but we are not seeing practically. Common, simple face masks show that if I bend down to set IV line, infusion on a patient, I don't know, patient can really cough on me, or I can also cough on the patient. Now, we are all potential carriers to each other. That is the fear we are facing now.
Upper East Regional Chairman of the Ghana Registered Nursing and Midwifery Association, Thomas Lambon, is worried about the neglect of frontline workers.
What we are now seeing coming out day in, day out, it looks as if our lives are in danger, and so our members in the region are very worried. And that is why we added the call from our national president, who said, look, it is the view of the employer to supply our PPEs to protect ourselves and also prevent others from getting. But if our members at the point have to attend to somebody who is actually COVID-19 patient and you don't have, then you protect yourself. Protect yourself, you have to stay away from. That's the issue now the members are facing on the ground.
Thomas Lambon said the fight against the coronavirus pandemic requires collective responsibility with adequate protection for health workers. The Regional Health Directorate is yet to respond to the issues.
Let's now go to the Western region, where the Sekendita Accra Metropolitan Assembly has sent a medical team to the Inchaban police barrier to screen and take temperatures of passengers on board vehicles entering into the metropolis. As parts of Ashanti and Greater Accra regions prepare to go into a partial lockdown due to the COVID-19 pandemic, there's a possibility of some people entering into the Western region for respite. Now, city authorities explain the medical team is to identify any passenger with any abnormal temperature for action to be taken.
We are currently here at the Intraban Barrier. The Intraban Barrier is one of the foremost points entering into the Western region from Central region, precisely through Cape Coast. days ago, the president, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, announced a partial lockdown of some parts of the Greater Accra region and the Ashanti region. The lockdown will be triggered from Monday, so we are less than 12 hours into that partial lockdown, and as a measure to ensure that the Western region will not record any imported cases from either Kumasi or the Greater Accra region, there's been a medical team set here at the Intraban barrier, and their job is to screen all vehicles entering into the region to ensure that we don't record any imported case from the regions that have been affected in the partial lockdown.
We have another checkpoint mounted by the region at the toll booth. But you know, after the toll booth, we have areas from Daboase, Shama, Abuaze, Beposo and the rest entering the mainstream to Takrady. So if you allow them to come in before we say Jack, the people are already in. That is why we are here to do the screening, and especially the social distancing. You go there, we have 2 people sitting at the front, plus the driver. There's no way you see that there's an infection, they will not get it. And some of them may say they are not aware, and some of them will deliberately do it. So we are here giving them the education and doing checking their temperatures for today.
The screening exercise currently ongoing at the Intraban barrier has caused a long tailback. We are told that it measures several meters away from the actual barrier where you will be screened. Now, some motorists have expressed worry about the tailback, but some also say that it is a necessary evil, so they don't care even if they will have to spend an hour or more to ensure that all the passengers that are coming into the region are properly screened.
Well, I think it's good, but you see, it's slowing the traffic. If we have maybe 2-3 people who are testing, then at least to make the traffic flow a little bit.
But so far, you believe that this measure is okay?
Sure, yeah, at least to protect all of us.
And is more than the Malquenjaba or
Woofy.
Mifitama.
Tema, and I just say, lock it down, or banana.
Oh, no, you're about wedding. And see, yes, you are quite.
Monquetti, if you are cry.
And how about time was him?
Oh, yes, him by 9. But go show come say I cry or Mumbai knock down door when Tama Obia Nuga, Obia born pa.
Now, Sisia was screen now, though.
We screen Wahadia. Oh, it's only that Nano Ubutuma Bibia.
This bus is coming from Accra, where tomorrow there's going to be a partial lockdown. The medical team are preparing to go on board to screen all the passengers. The med team, like I said, are on board and they are screening the passengers. This person just recorded 36.5.
My concern is think how go from bus in the Babia. I say my nose max been grocery. Be a hand sanitizer, but be a see. And yes, I bet say yes, Yabuta Cradle, yes, nurses for the way. No, we expect they say, oh, after all, what check where we not be anyone. So, be my
Chief, we are told that we should observe social distancing, but you are very close to this next passenger. Are you not afraid?
I'm not afraid. We are even lucky. When we were coming, the driver and the mate had wanted to park the vehicle, put some chairs in the middle, and then pick passengers, but we didn't agree.
We've had 4 people with temperature between 38 and one of them had 40. And we've taken all of them their numbers. And those who are planning to move on to other places have been advised to stay. You know that at 1 a.m. today, no car is supposed to come here. So after midnight, we'll assess the situation and see what happens.
And our road transport operators have directed all commercial vehicle drivers to reduce the number of passengers carried on taxis, trotros and buses to combat the coronavirus spread. They also called on all transport terminal owners to also provide adequate running water, basin and sanitizers for passengers and commuters. Passenger carrying vehicles, including taxis, sitting 1 to 3 passengers on a row shall sit not more than 2 passengers in a row. Passenger carrying vehicles seating 1 to 4 passengers in a row shall sit not more than 3 passengers in a row. Passenger carrying vehicles 1 to 5 Passengers seating 1 to 5 passengers on a row shall sit not more than 3 passengers in a row.
And now the Ghana Police Service is appealing to the general public to be supportive and comply with directives laid down during the 14-day lockdown. At a news conference in Accra, Director of Operations of the Ghana Police Service, DCOP, Dr. Shaibu Gariba, assured citizens it is not a combat operation but a humanitarian one, and nobody would be intimidated.
President's directive targeted at averting a further spread of the deadly coronavirus disease, Accra, Kumasi and Tema will be locked down at 1 a.m. on Monday, March 30. A joint team made up of the police, military, BNI and other agencies are being deployed in the operation dubbed Operation COVID Safety to ensure the restrictions imposed are adhered to. There were concerns over excesses on the part of the security, but the operations director of the Ghana Police Service gave an assurance the operation would have a human face.
We look at these operations as a humanitarian operation. It is not a war. It is a humanitarian operation. We are all fighting the coronavirus. So we need support from the population to be able to do that. We are not going to intimidate anybody. We are rather going to support the Ghana Health Service and the people of Ghana to be able to fight this pandemic and achieve the overall objective of His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana.
He warned recalcitrants. The Ghana Armed Forces has deployed 2,000 personnel to ensure a successful operation.
We have Air Force elements who will help in lifting medical supplies and also assist in monitoring from the air and ensuring that every aspect of this enforcement comes to play. The Navy is also going to patrol certain aspects of the sea. We have already got information that some people are crossing in by boats and things like that. So we want to make sure that this enforcement is complete.
And scores of people continue to access the country through unapproved routes in the Upper East region from Burkina Faso and Togo. Border officials say they lack logistics, including patrol vehicles.
Border officials in the Upper East region last week arrested and returned 5 persons who attempted to enter the country through unapproved routes. They also returned 9 trucks and buses in the wake of the total border closure to check the spread of the coronavirus outbreak. But these were just people attempting to enter the country near the main border. Border officials say they lack the logistics to patrol the numerous unapproved entry points which are being used daily.
If you look at the stretch of our operation area, it starts from the Tili boundary area to the bridge where we branch from the Saplega area. You look at the vastness. There are a lot of unapproved routes within, all leading to neighboring Burkina Faso. And the intelligence is there, but sometimes the logistics are not, that available.
These challenges were revealed when the MP for the area and some MMDCEs visited the northeastern part of the region to assess the situation.
Officers who are also patrol are also much more exposed because we always come closer to the people and also come closer to us. And we don't have a means of checking whether we have it or not.
So we will appeal to you so that at least when we have such logistics, we'll be able to do our best to perform our duties as effective as possible.
The Garu District Chief Executive, Emmanuel Avoka, acknowledged the challenge, pledging to facilitate a solution.
The thing that touches us most is your inability to move around. We share with you the many unapproved routes that your men have to trek to be able to block whoever are going to enter our territories. I believe strongly that we as government will have to step up the game.
The MMDCEs further promised to dispatch some personal protective equipment to the border officials.
And you can believe us, at least by Monday, whoever must hear our story will hear it. And we together, 6 of us, will push to ensure that we look more keenly at the deficiencies at our borders so that together we can work well and have full charge of our boundaries.
Still on COVID-19, the ranking member of Parliament's Health Committee is urging government to improve security at its land borders and ensure that border health officials have the requisite logistics in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic. A tour of some of the borders in his constituency revealed some lapses in the fight against the pandemic.
Some foreigners who have tried entering the country through unapproved routes but were busted by security agencies. These individuals have since been repatriated. The country will be on a lockdown effective 1 a.m. on Monday, March 30. Here at the African-Japan border that links Ghana and Ivory Coast, the immigration officials are only two with no basic equipment to check for the virus.
I can see you are only two manning the place. What's happening? It's like it's been like this, the two of us now. It's two women as usual. You are supposed to get a thermometer. So even if the person is going to buy salt and the temperature is high, you should not allow the person. We are not having one. So you will have to. So you will have to get. So Director, when are you going to make it? Because we voted some money for all these things to report.
The Nchense Koko imaginary border was worse. The measures the president reiterates could be dire for those who flouted a measure the Jobuso MP says is welcoming.
You know, as the experts will tell you, the virus on its own has no legs to move. The carriers of the virus is the human being. So once you move from the epicenter to the other parts of the country, you are aiding in the spreading of the virus. And therefore, if movements are restricted, I think it's in order.
While touring his constituency and assessing its preparedness in the fight against the virus, the MP presented items to a number of health institutions, the security services, transport operators, and market centers in the Jobuso constituency.
I'm mindful of the fact that the fear and panic could be disastrous than even the virus. So when I'm communicating, I'm very careful. Some of the recorded cases have come to expose us. We have a very weak health sector, so we are not ready. We have only 2 labs in the country. We have Noguchi and we have KCCR, testing thousands of cases. How can you say you are ready for that?
And back in Accra, government buildings, ministries, departments and agencies have been disinfected as part of measures to fight the pandemic. This was after markets in the capital were also disinfected.
Offices of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly were the first to be disinfected. The team then moved to the ministries, departments and agencies. The operation was undertaken by the LCP Worldwide Ghana, a crisis management company contracted by the Health Ministry and also tasked to disinfect import and export cargoes at the ports.
We are happy that the company had come on board to support us in these trying moments of our city. And we believe that after this disinfection, it will help all of us to, as a people, also to control the way we conduct ourselves. There are some protocols that had been instituted which all of us must adhere to.
Other strategic locations and installations across the country will soon have their turn.
Rolling out this exercise, it will give the public servants the confidence that the areas of work and place of work has been disinfected and decontaminated, giving them confidence to attend work and carry on their duties as normal.
In efforts at supporting government's combat COVID-19, private organizations are releasing resources to fight the pandemic. Latest to benefit from a spraying exercise is the Botiano and West Hill Small area in Accra.
COVID-19 is wreaking havoc around the globe. Nearly 700,000 have been infected. Over 32,000 have also died. In Ghana, infection rates continue to rise. As of Sunday, March 29, over 150 people have been infected. This has resulted in government embarking on disinfection of markets and other places across the country. Private individuals have also added their support to the fight. Areas around Botiano and Weja in Accra have been sprayed to disinfect the area.
Whatever our partners are doing in China in terms of fighting the COVID-19,
we try to do the same here in Ghana. So we are contacting the private entities and in the public sectors to engage them in fighting the COVID-19 with our drones.
The spraying is done at places where traditional means of spraying using the knapsack cannot be done. The drone technology is used to ensure every corner is reached. Eskiteiro Shatta says it will employ similar spraying methods in other areas where it is difficult to spray using traditional methods to ensure every community is disinfected.
President Akufo-Addo has charged nominees of the Board of Trustees for the proposed National COVID-19 Response Trust Fund to complement government efforts at supporting the vulnerable and needy in society as the country battles to stop the spread of the novel coronavirus COVID-19. The president threw the challenge when he inaugurated members of the board at the Jubilee House in Accra.
President Akufo-Addo, during a live broadcast to the nation on Friday night, announced the setting up of a public trust COVID-19 response trust fund. Interacting with members at the Jubilee House on Sunday, the president urged them to work hard to ensure the fund complements government efforts at dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic on the disadvantaged in society.
You're coming from very different aspects of our public life, from the world of religion, from the world of law, from the world of finance, media, business. Go across so many areas of our national life and have been put together for this exercise. Essentially to complement the efforts that the government and the state is making over this crisis, especially with a particular focus on the considerations that have to be done for the needy and the vulnerable. And whatever monies we raise, that is a target.
Chairperson for the Trust Fund, Chief Justice retired Justice Sophia Akufo, accepted the challenge to work very hard to mitigate the effect of the pandemic.
Undertake to bear the charge that you have placed on us with full integrity and efficiency, so as to make sure that all our outcomes are transparent, they are quality, and they fulfill the purpose for which the trust is being set up. We're very appreciative of the motivation behind even the establishment of the fund.
You're watching News 360, and we'll return shortly with some more news. Stay tuned.
I'm a proud old student of Agri Memorial Senior High School. My school needed a facelift, and Deluxe acrylic paints came in
and did their magic. And wow, the school looks
the touch is simply classic.
The school environment is now conducive for us all to teach and learn.
After the painting, our colors are just phenomenal.
Exquisite, a conducive place to study now.
Proud to be an amazing.
The luxury acrylic paints you can't contest.
I love football. Football can be a dirty game, on or off the pitch. Even when I'm trying to score at a party, stains find a way of tracking me down. But I don't worry at all, because I have Cleansoft. Use new Cleansoft 360 Deep Clean, a unique formula with active ingredients and enzymes that gets rid of all stubborn stains and leaves your clothes smelling wonderful. Cleansoft, my favorite. Cleansoft 360 Deep Clean, clean all.
Say hello to convenience. Say hello to the new ECG mobile app, ECG Power. Now you can buy electricity easily, pay conveniently, monitor your consumption, check your meter balance, and more anytime, anywhere. Start enjoying the convenience of ECG Power. It's now super easy to top up your electricity, make inquiries and complaints, get general information, and interact with the new ECG mobile app. Download it now from the Google Play Store or App Store, or dial *226# on your non-smartphone. ECG Power, convenience in your hands.
Public notice. As part of the effort to control the spread of COVID-19, we advise the use of the ECG mobile app to help reduce the numbers visiting our premises. Thank you.
And let's do some more stories. Now, COVID-19 has stalled positive human and family relations across the globe. Our reporter, William Evans Inkum, speaks to health workers at the Kumasi South Hospital who are arguably the worst hit as they take extra precaution in order not to infect loved ones.
At the entrance of the Kumasi South Hospital is the pre-trial screening. I met Dr. Rita Yebua working with the infectious disease management team.
After taking their temperatures, we have a triage form. And the questions we ask are fever, cough, difficulty in breathing. And then we look at your travel history.
Every visitor is a suspected case. Even staff of the hospital are made to go through the compulsory pre-trial screening. So the point is, we are not in normal times, and this particular situation has called for stringent measures. Even health workers on the front line, they have made a lot of sacrifices. To some of them, they have become even scary for the families. But they tell me, job first, Ghana first, and that is the spirit of patriotism. Dr. Angela Frimpong of the Clinical Care Unit and leader of the Infectious Disease Management Team took me to the holding center.
It's a big place. There is not really going to be much contact between patients. And so far, we've not had more than 2 patients here at a time. So it's fine. If the patient needs oxygen support, is there. We put in a TV for entertainment because being quarantined by yourself is quite lonely. So at least a little bit of entertainment for you is good.
Here is where confirmed cases are isolated. The hospital recorded 1 confirmed case, but the patient has recovered. 2 cases are currently being tested at the Kumasi Center for Collaborative Research in Tropical Medicine. The hospital has been provided with personal protective equipment, while filming, the Ashanti Professional Club came in with PPEs to be distributed to frontline workers. The National Disaster Management Organization has set up 2 makeshift structures for the doctors. William Evans Inkum, TV3 News, Kumasi.
Now, the Deputy Controller of the Ghana Immigration Service, Lord Ofori Efrifa, has cautioned persons who aid foreigners to enter Ghana illegally to desist as they are deploying combative tactics at the various borders. He disclosed that on the dawn of Sunday, March 29, 14 persons were arrested at the Sogakope inland border and have been quarantined.
This dawn, 14 Nigerians and a Ghanaian were intercepted at the Sogakope border post, having entered illegally through various unapproved routes on the Aflao border stretch. They've been arrested. The driver has also been arrested. They are all being sent into mandatory quarantine, and the decision will be taken as the sanctions to impose. All that means is that we are still having unpatriotic and unscrupulous persons in the border communities who are determined to undermine the government's efforts to control the spread of the coronavirus. Some transporters, again, are also conspiring. What you are doing is that you are undermining this country and putting the whole country at risk. We continue to caution the border communities and transporters to stop these illegal and criminal activities in smuggling people into the country. As we are seeing people moving out of Accra and other places to avoid the restriction, we are now seeing also people or foreigners, especially from the sub-region, attempting to leave the country through the borders. As we speak, 22 persons, Malians and Nigerians, have been intercepted at the Tatale border post, and they are being returned and they are being monitored so that they don't use other routes. We are not applying a humanitarian approach as is being done in the internal restriction. Ours is combative and robust.
It's now time for Mission, and Mission is supported by Star Ghana Foundation with funding from Danida UK Aid and the EU. Construction of a World Theatre and World Complex is currently underway at the Kpung Health Centre in the Kpung Katamanso municipality of the Greater Accra region. This is after TV3 Mission reported on the challenges facing the hospital.
In 2019, TV3 Mission reported on infrastructural and logistical challenges at the Kpung Health Centre. The Kpung Health Centre, since its establishment 23 years ago, had not been upgraded. Inadequate staff and basic logistics hampered efforts at providing quality healthcare to patients. Authorities at the hospital wanted the health centre upgraded to a polyclinic status to serve the needs of residents in the Kpung Katamanso municipality. After the story aired on TV3 Mission, the municipal chief executive of Kpung Katamanso promised the challenges facing the hospital will soon be a thing of the past. Through the Coastal Development Authority, the Kpung Health Centre will soon get a theatre and a ward complex.
And work is progressing. The contractor is waiting for a certificate to be paid to enable him do the roofing. So now everything is intact. St. Jude Ceramics also cut the sod for the construction of a 4-story hospital block. And we are now doing the ground preparations to start that particular project to be able to reduce the congestion at the Kpung Health Centre.
Dr. Dankwa is a municipal health director of Kpung Katamanso.
If they complete it on time, now we will stop referring patients all the way to Majena. Some lives have been lost when they were transferring patients. So with this, we will have a doctor or a specialist coming in to see all the obstetric and gynecological cases here, so we don't have to refer patients out. There are also plans of getting a new hospital. So when we have it, it will ease the congestion at the OPD, just in case there's an outbreak or if the attendance are high.
The completion of the theatre is expected to provide quality healthcare to the estimated 120,000 residents in the Kpung Katamanso municipality and its environs.
We look at the good work you are doing. If you report it without our notice, definitely somebody will also get it and send it on the different platform that this is what TV3 is saying about your municipality, and then we quickly have to put our heads together to be able to find solution to the problem.
I want to tell TV3 Mission, they should keep up the good work. At least when they came in here, it has shown results and people are working. We are trying to get things improved, especially when it comes to our healthcare in the Kpung Katamanso municipality.
And yes, TV3 always gets results. But that's it for Mission this evening. Mission is supported by Star Ghana Foundation with funding from Danida UK Aid and the EU. Thanks for watching.
UMB was established in 1972 as the premier bank for the corporate and private sector in Ghana. From our very beginning, as the only Ghanaian bank serving all categories of businesses, we set a standard for excellence and innovation over the past 45 years. We've built a financially healthy and strong bank, demonstrated our commitment to our customers and to growing businesses,